Hey crafters, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to make a reveal wheel card with a summer twist. Hope you enjoy. So I started this card by spraying a piece of paper thoroughly with water and then spraying the new Distress Spray Stain Uncharted Mariner on top. I wanted the background to have a bit of a watery feel, so using the combination of water and this spray stain really helped to make this water come to life. Now I continued alternating between the water and the spray until I was happy with the background, and then I set this aside to dry thoroughly. Once it was dry, I used my main reveal wheel piece and lined it up on the paper where I thought it looked interesting, and then I just cut off the excess paper roughly with some scissors. Now to add a bit more color, before I die cut this piece, I used some of the Chip Sapphire Distress ink, and I just spread it from one side to the other in horizontal stripes, and you can see the effect that you get on the corner of the paper. And I just repeated this on both sides. Now I'm not pushing too hard, I just want a little hint of color on top of that spray stain. Now you could do this inking technique after you die cut the reveal wheel, but you may get some impressions from running the pieces through your die cut machine. So once I was happy with the background, I added the semicircle add-on piece to the reveal wheel and ran that through my die cutting machine. Next, I took the same semicircle add-on piece and flipped it upside down, carefully lining it up with the hole that's already cut, and I die cut this piece again. Then I just added a little bit more of that Chip Sapphire by lightly dragging the ink pad across the card in horizontal stripes. And the trick to this is a very light pressure. Now the next thing I did was I removed those inside pieces where the two semicircles meet, so that on the front of my reveal wheel piece I'm left with a big circle. And then I set this piece aside and started on my background piece. So to make this card a little bit bigger, I'm using a 5 by 7 inch piece of paper, and I'm using some of the smaller images from the Lawn Fawn Pool Party stamp set, and I'm just stamping them randomly around the edge of the background. So the last inch around the background roughly will have these fun summer images on them. So I stamped them in Memento Tuxedo black ink so that I could color them in with my Copic markers afterwards. And I wanted to use a variety of bright colors so that this looks like a fun and summer card. Just gorgeous. Now off camera, I sprayed another piece of paper with that Uncharted Mariner Distress Spray Stain, and I die cut the mechanism pieces for the reveal wheel. Now I used another piece of card that's cut with the same reveal wheel piece, turned it upside down, and then attached the pieces of the reveal wheel with a blue push pin. And I wanted this to be more or less discreet, so it matches the color of the spray stain background. So I added some double-sided foam tape to the little circle of the reveal wheel and attached the reveal wheel mechanism piece to my white piece of paper that's in the back there. And then I added my foam tape, and I always like to add a single layer of foam tape underneath the wheel part so that it doesn't get squashed, and then double layers of foam tape elsewhere. So then I attached the two pieces together to form my reveal wheel, and then I created my fun scene. So for this, I used some of the flotation devices from the Pool Party stamp set, and I added a little bit of double-sided tape as well as a spot of glue to one part of this flotation device, and then positioned it so that it wasn't covering up the side of the mechanism for the reveal wheel, so that the user can still turn the wheel. And I repeated this with the other 3 flotation devices so that there's 4 of them around the circle. Now you need to overlap them a little bit, but you end up with quite an effective card when you're finished. So once I was happy with the placement of those flotation devices, I added on some of the critters from the same pool party stamp set. So I put a different critter on each of the 4 flotation devices. So it looks like they're having a chilled, relaxing time in the pool. And it's so much fun to have these critters on the reveal wheel. I just can't stop turning it. It's so addictive. Now, also in the pool party stamp set, there's these little splashes or raindrops that you can add onto the card. So I decided to cut a bunch of these out and put them around the 4 little critters. Now the arrow that's used to indicate the reveal wheel, I die cut this from a piece of paper that I used the Chip Sapphire Distress ink on, so it matches with the card. So I'm just gluing these splashes in place, and I also went ahead and stamped and colored one of the beach balls, which you see on the side there, but I will add that in later on. Now the sentiment for the card, I used the Just Floating By to Say, and I put this on a piece of black paper and glued this on the bottom of the card. And I also went ahead and cut a piece of black paper that's slightly larger than the reveal wheel, and I glued the whole reveal wheel piece to this, adding some double-sided squares underneath that opened area. Now once that's glued into place, you can see how nice it looks with the black border around the edge. I'm going to glue this whole piece onto the main front of the card, which we created earlier, the 5 by 7 inch piece of paper. So I'll just add some glue onto the back of this black paper and glue this into the middle of that decorated paper. And then I'm going to use that little beach ball and just glue it at the bottom so it's hanging off the edge of the water, so that it looks like it's floating at the bottom of the pool. Now I'll let this dry for a moment while I work on the inside of the card. So I'm just going to stamp the little cat critter from the pool party stamp set. And once I've got him in the inside of the card, I'm just going to place a mask on top of him. And then I'm going to add the flotation device, so it looks like he's sitting on that flotation device without having to glue anything on the inside of the card. And then I'll add the little speech bubble to the cat and the sentiment underneath, so that he's saying happy birthday, and underneath it says have a relaxing birthday. So then I'll just glue our card together with the piece we created earlier onto the card back. And you can see the finished card here, just floating by to say, have a relaxing birthday. And I'm sure the recipient will love playing with this as much as I do. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video inspiring. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Have a crafty day!